Welcome to From the Driver's Seat, the Averitt podcast for all Averitt drivers to keep up with news and information across our network. Make sure to subscribe on your preferred podcasting app to make sure you're notified as soon as every episode drops. And now, hosting from the driver's seat, Director of Driver Services, David Broyles.
Hey everybody, it's David Broyles from the Driver's Seat podcast, and glad to talk to y'all again. We got a great podcast today. And speaking of podcasts, if you haven't done it yet, get on the Inside Averitt. Go in there and look at all the podcasts. You know, you've got the podcast that we've done for years, that I've been doing for years and years, and now a lot of that's video. But if you go in there, you'll see some stuff from Amos on there too, with the Winter Circle podcast, some stuff from Alice, a lot of good stuff on there. Take advantage of it. Go back there and look, watch all that stuff, and even some of the old things. There's a lot of stuff on the old stuff. You can read, you can kind of page down through it and find a topic that interests you and take a listen in. Some of the quality may not be as good as it was, as what it is today. The quality is a lot higher, but take a look at all that stuff. There's a lot of information in there for y'all out there. We've got a great podcast today. Let me introduce our guest. Hey, Steve Anderson, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Great. Good to see you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Steve. I know you've been with us for a while.
I have 32 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful trip. It really has. I spent my first 5 years in Nashville, where I started out as a bill entry associate. I moved into customer service, relay dispatch, city dispatch, and outbound leader, and then transferred to Cookeville. Out of the corporate office, I was the OS&D leader and product quality leader before transferring to Averitt Dedicated as the operations manager. And for the last 18 years, I've been the director of operations for Region 2.
Wow, I tell you, you've done a little bit of everything with Averitt then, right?
I have. I got a good flavor of it.
Yeah, so if I need a question answered, I know who to come to, right?
I know who will have the answer. How about that?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
That
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, I know you've been around for a long time, and we've worked together for a long time. Got a lot of good information. I think you do know a lot of stuff too. So yeah, that's good.
Well, thank you.
Well, hey, I know you got some folks with you. I guess you got Thomas Damron, right? Hey,
I do.
Sir. Hey,
Thomas, Senior Operations Manager, works for you, right?
That's correct.
Thomas, how long you been with Averitt?
I've been with David for 20 years.
Wow,
20 years, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yes. It's been a good ride, and I'm working on, started on the dock in Nashville for 5 years. Took a job in Savannah, Georgia as a frontline leader, and then needed to come back to the Middle Tennessee area. So 2012, joined Dedicated as a frontline leader, and then became a site manager, and now I'm a senior operations manager. So I've been with Dedicated for the past 12 years and met a lot of wonderful people during that time.
Well, great. Hey, I appreciate it. And Todd Brooks, how you doing, Todd?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. Todd, you're another senior operations manager, I guess, and
Yes, sir.
you got a long background with Averitt as well, right?
18 years.
And you're a legacy too, right? I don't know
I'm
if
a
everybody
legacy.
remembers
I'm
your
a
dad,
legacy,
right?
yeah. I'm a legacy. Yeah, he was a senior operations manager for Steve as well.
Yeah. It was Ray, right?
Ray Brooks.
Ray
yeah.
Brooks. I think a lot of people probably still remember Ray Brooks. But Ray was here for a long time.
Yeah.
Great man.
Yeah, I think he was here 18 years, 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah, right in that area.
Very memorable man.
Yeah. Did
But
a great
I
job
started
for us.
out as a frontline leader for at MTech. At the time, it was called MTech.
Uh-huh.
Then Tennessee Farmers Co-op, and then site manager for Vijon. And moved in from that role to senior operations manager, 2014.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of it's a lot of 18 years, 20 years, and 32 years. That's kind of that's a lot of experience right there at the table, right? It's a lot of good experience. I think that's important. You know, you take a look at that. The other thing, and if you listen to where everybody started at, you know, I think sometimes people think, hey, Averitt hires in leadership and all that. That's not right. Most of our leaderships, it's homegrown, right?
That's exactly right. In the 26 leaders that we have in Region 2, we have a combined 388 years at Averitt.
Wow.
That's averaging 15 years per leader. And 24 of them were promoted from within. 10 started in on the dock, 7 as drivers, and 7 as operations support.
That really is what Averitt talks about when we say, hey, promote from within. I mean, that's a good example of what goes on.
Absolutely.
It's the way to do things, right? It's part of our culture, and it works. It's what it's proven.
huge. It's
yeah,
huge.
really does make a
We're
difference.
constantly looking for that talent that's out there that wants to take that next step. And
Right.
we're encouraged by our leadership to do that. So
Right. And yeah, there's a lot of good young leaders coming up in the system in dedicated. Of course, I've worked with a lot of dedicated accounts and all y'all's accounts, and y'all got a lot of good young leadership that coming up. I think that the next wave, one of these days, some of these folks may retire. I mean, y'all may retire. I may never retire, but some folks may retire, so have to have new people coming in all the time, and that's what Averitt's good at. I think is developing leadership, right? Mm-hmm. So Region 2, you mentioned Region 2. What is Region 2?
And geographically, that's Florida and Mississippi, with some in Tennessee, Georgia, and South Carolina.
That's primarily this, but most of the Southeast, I guess, is where y'all your regions or where your accounts primarily are. Then, right?
That's correct.
When you talk about your accounts, you say Region 2. How many? How does that break down? Like how many people, or is it, you got a certain number? How many people are in that region, for instance?
Yeah, I do. There are 395 drivers in Region 2, 358 power units, 748 trailers, and 147 reefer trailers.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you do know exactly what's in there, right?
I came prepared.
You came prepared, so you knew the answers to those questions right off the bat. But, that is a lot of equipment. If you take that and multiply it times 4, you're looking at a pretty good size business unit. Dedicated has grown a lot. How long you started with dedicated when?
2001.
2001. You started, Todd?
91.
91.
No, 2006. That was
2006.
2006.
Oh, okay. Thomas?
2012.
2012. So y'all have seen a lot of growth.
Yeah,
we have
over time, right? And continuing to grow, I guess. I think we'll see the regions continue to grow. As senior operations manager, right? Of course, the director position, you've got the senior operations manager, and you got so you're responsible for a lot of stuff. But the senior operations manager, Todd, start with you. What's the senior operations manager role?
We support the on-site operations team. We're kind of the go-between, help them get things that they need done. Work around, not want to work around the system, but work within the system to help them get their job accomplished every day.
So working what, P&Ls?
P&Ls, help them with recruiting, give them advice and direction, show them just operational experiences that we faced as we were site managers, some of the challenges that we had to overcome, and help them kind of grow into that role and become better leaders themselves.
Yeah. Thomas, I know you said you started on the dock, I guess, and then you moved up and went through. And so, now you're a senior operations manager, so now you do what he said. You reach down and you help. What do you think you brought? What did you learn from your other early experiences that you're able to bring to the table as a senior operations manager to help the site managers get better?
Well, the first thing I've realized is that Averitt's built a team that's been here for a long time, so you can lean on a lot of people. And I've learned a lot of times you don't have to know all the answers. You just need to know who to go to help you with that process. So, there's a lot of experience here just at the table. You, Steve, and Todd, Dan, all the way to the top, and everybody's always willing to reach out to help you accomplish Averitt's goal, taking care of our associates, taking care of our customers. And that's probably the best advice that I pass along to just ask a question. And if I don't know, then I'll ask Steve, and Steve will definitely do the same.
Find somebody who knows.
Find somebody.
Correct, yeah.
Another big part of that role is seeing operations across dedicated, not just in our region, but seeing what they do and bringing ideas from other sites over. We're always challenged by our customers to find a new way to do it, find a better way to do it. And that keeps us ingratiated with our customer and keeps the competition away. As long as you can always improve and do better, you will always be at the top.
Why does Averitt Dedicated grow like it does? Why are we growing in Dedicated? What do we do? What are we doing to separate ourselves and make ourselves different? You think?
A friend of mine, Travis Webster, calls Dedicated Averitt's Black Ops. We go in when a customer is asking for something that is so out of the ordinary that it really doesn't fit any other business unit. Dedicated will go in, try to build a better mousetrap, try to find a way to satisfy that customer's needs. And we've been very successful at it. There's nothing that's out of the realm of possibility. There are things that might be cost prohibitive, but there's a way to solve whatever their problem is. And when you can take those blinders off and see all the way across the board. What does Averitt have to offer? The true power of one. Combine those things together, then that's when we really succeed. And that's when we are a step above everybody else. Todd has an account that's an excellent example of that in Essex Bargain Hunt.
That is a good account. Talk about Essex a little bit. I think, I think people, they hear about it, but I don't know if anybody really understands Essex and what the true power of one, what Essex does to do that.
And that is exactly it. It is the true power of one. But we have the Essex distribution centers in Nashville, Tennessee, Antioch. And from there, they load out trailers going to within a 250-mile radius of Antioch. We have line haul drivers that are dedicated drivers that take those loads from point A to point B every day. And once they get to point B, that's when the LTL side of it takes over. They pick up those trailers and then take them to the stores.
So point B is actually a service center.
Point B is the service center.
So they're traveling from the distribution center in Antioch. Just like a shuttle driver, really, right? I mean, the dedicated driver is kind of like a shuttle driver. Mm-hmm. They're running, and they run at night?
They run at night.
So they run at night, they take it, they drop it off at the service centers, whatever service center, and then LTL picks it up just like a normal shipment, right?
And then they take it and deliver it to the customer, unload the trailer and bring it the empty back. Now, we've since added a new dynamic to that. We actually have some store direct deliveries that the dedicated side does. We just take it straight from the distribution center to the store. That's been a pretty new addition that we've added, but for the most part, it is still a true power of one, and it's both the LTL and dedicated working together.
Yeah,
to make the customer happy.
Well, that's kind of neat. I guess that does show the flexibility, like you were talking about. Hey, solve the problem. Figure out how to make it work for the customer, right? Because that would have been hard for us to ever try to figure out. Just dedicated doing the whole thing, it'd have been a problem, right?
It would have been a challenge.
Yeah, it'd have been harder. Probably more expensive. We're probably doing it the most cost-efficient ways for the customer, so we're able to get in there. And that's been a great account for us, I think.
It has.
Essex has been a good account, like a lot of accounts. And any unique accounts, Thomas? Stories like that with any of the accounts that you manage or anything like that? You think?
Well, unique, I would say we deal with flatbeds and deal with steel coals. So we deliver steel coals to Urozu. I think that's a unique one. Not everybody wants to get up and chain a coal down that if you do it incorrectly, that some
could be
problems. So, and we've worked diligently.
That's been an account we've had for a long time too, Urozu, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, about 35 years.
We've had that account 35 years. Really? Wow. Obviously, if we're doing something for 35 years, we're doing it right because, the customers kept us there for a long time. Mm-hmm. It's a 35-year account, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
That's a good account, I guess.
Well, it's a good account, and you're putting the right people in position to work with the customer day in and day out. And that's one of the things about Dedicated is we put the right people in front of the customers. They're going to see them daily. They're going to interact with them daily. And a lot of these contract renewals that we do through all of Dedicated, it's strictly because of the people that are on site and the job they're doing, the service they're performing. So
I think all of y'all, everybody here is from Tennessee too, right?
Correct.
Right around the Nashville area, pretty much. So you're kind of homegrown, I guess, in a way, right? Right. With Averitt, come close to the home domiciles. What do you like most about Averitt Express, Todd? What do you think? What do you think is your standout?
The winner circle. I mean, it exemplifies Averitt. I mean, it's everything you was talking about my dad, the things that he went through when he was battling cancer and how Averitt treated him. And then just how you see it with just all of our associates. I mean, it doesn't happen anywhere else. And you can speak to anybody. I was at an airport this past week talking to another guy who worked at a trucking company in the past. And all he talked about was he's never heard anything bad about Averitt. And I was able to build to that and say, you know what, neither have I. It really is that company.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, that is impressive. And you're right. And it's amazing how many people that aren't working for Averitt, same like you said, you have conversations
that knows about Averitt.
Averitt. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Thomas, what do you think? What's the number one thing with Averitt Express?
I'm going to run with Todd on the people. It's the people you get to work with daily. A little not known fact or unknown fact is my dad drove for Averitt.
Oh, really?
back
I
in
didn't
the
know
day.
that.
He drove out of Decatur, Alabama, to Saginaw, Michigan on some dedicated runs.
Oh, that sounds like the old Delphi run.
I think it was. This is back when I was 15,
I'm showing my age now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I remember that back when we started. We used to run that Delphi run up there.
Yeah,
So I
and-
guess he was on that run.
He was.
Well, then
And
I'm sure I dispatched him on it. Some.
probably did. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that afterwards. So, yeah, it's the people. My dad encouraged me to come on board and got in here and didn't expect to stay as long. I was working through college just on the dock, and it just felt right. And I was told at an early age, when you find a job that you can get up every morning and you enjoy going to, then you've found what you need to be doing. So I've been here and I've stuck with it. I enjoy coming to work every day, learning. I love learning stuff, and the people that I'm around. I mean, there's some highly intelligent people that we work with to help do what we're out to achieve. So the people, I love the people interacting, and then we're in a role. Todd, Stephen, and I are in a role that we get to interact with our drivers, our managers. We get to interact with the service center directors, the sales, the transportation specialists, and everybody. So we're really blessed to be in this position, and we really enjoy that.
Oh, that's really cool. That's great. I didn't know that about your dad.
Yeah,
So I learned
yeah.
something new. But yeah, I'm sure I talked to him 25 years ago.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, that's about what it was. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely remember that run. We used to run that up to Saginaw out of Athens, Alabama a lot. Down there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Sure did that. Yeah. Steve, what do you think? I know you've been here longer. You're the senior of the group as far as being at Averitt. So you probably you've seen more changes at Averitt than any of us. I guess.
I have.
What's
I first
the
started-
constant?
The constant is opportunity for advancement. That's what kept me at Averitt, and that was what drove me to stay with Averitt for this long. It's the secret. I've heard you ask other people, what's the
secret
for
sauce?
advancement,
Yeah.
and things like that. First, let someone know that you want to do more. And secondly, and no matter what your job is, whatever that responsibility is, do what's expected and then some. Those three little words, Bonnie Plunkett from Memphis taught me those in 1992, and then some.
And then some. That's a good idea. That's a good.
As long as you
steal that.
please do pass it along, but and pursue challenges. Get out of your comfort zone. When an opportunity presents itself, raise your hand and say, "I'll do that."
Yeah, I think that's really important. I've always told people when they want to advance, never say no to a challenge.
Right.
Always say, yeah, I can make that happen.
Yep.
Figure it out.
Yep.
And then go forth and make it happen and make it, figure it out. Don't never say no to a challenge. Always accept the challenge, right?
Right.
And and the nice thing about Averitt, you're always going to have people to help you along the way. I think that goes back to what you said, Thomas.
Exactly.
The people are there. The people are going to help you. It sets us apart. I've worked a lot of other places prior to Averitt, but there's no other place like Averitt. Not really.
No.
There's a lot of different things at Averitt Express, but I think you all exemplify that. I think it's interesting to see, how we promoted up the ranks and, where you all are, the experience that we have. And all that goes into be the success of Dedicated, which leads to the success of Averitt Express, right?
It does.
I think that's, it's just really important. But y'all do a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Anything else y'all want to tell the folks out there and the drivers and the associates and everything? So Todd, I'll start with you.
I appreciate everybody. On-site operations, the whole 9 yards. You make my job enjoyable and make me want to come to work every day.
Thank you, Todd. Thomas, final thoughts?
Yeah, I'd just like to just share, let everybody know, I love what I'm doing. I love interacting with everybody that makes it happen. I appreciate you, appreciate everything you do on a daily basis. The late night calls you get from the managers, the breakdowns on the side of the road where you can't get to where you're going to and you have to be patient. Just appreciate everything from everybody does at Averitt. And I think Averitt does a great job of exemplifying that, is that everybody matters. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you.
Steve, I know you got some final good thoughts for us.
I do. As Thomas said, we are the best. We should never be ashamed to announce that we're the best and show that we're the best. That's what makes us different. We're built of up from the ground, from folks from within. That always Averitt mantra really pays off, and our customers recognize that. Thank you for what you do. I really appreciate all that you do. I recognize what you do, and that's what makes you the best.
obviously, with this management team we got with Dedicated, we know we're moving in the right direction, and we're looking forward to a lot of growth with Dedicated. And with growth, that means we got to add drivers and we got to add associates, and all of that is people like you, and that's what it takes. So that is so important to our future growth. If you look out there and you see somebody and you say, hey, that person needs to be wearing red, let's get them in red. Make sure they're out there. Help us find good people, because that's what it takes to help us grow. Thank you so much. Appreciate what you do. See you out on the road.